Well, one should take into account that Turkey has started accession negotiations in October 2005, after a positive sign by the European Union, by the European Commission, stating that Turkey sufficiently fulfills the Copenhagen criteria. And we should be aware of what the Copenhagen criteria is about. As they laid down by the European Council in June 1993, the Copenhagen criteria require a candidate country to have achieved stability of institutions, guaranteeing democracy, the rule of law, human rights, respect for and protection of minorities, as well as the existence of a functioning market economy and the capacity to cope with competitive pressure and market forces within the European Union. Membership also presupposes the candidate's ability to take on the obligations of membership, including adherence to the aims of political, economic, and monetary union. The European Commission reports every year on the progress which Turkey has made and the particular areas where it needs to do better. And the reports make it clear how far Turkey still has to go. It is true that Erdogan's government has made great strides in its first years in office, but the pace has gradually slowed down. By implication, Turkey's accession process to the EU is for some years now in limbo. About half of the 33 chapters of the European acquis that require negotiations have been opened, and just only one has provisionally closed. The main stumbling block in 2000s was Turkey's failure to implement a particular protocol and to extend its customs union with the European Union by opening its ports and airports to Greek Cypriot traffic. As a result, the EU suspended at the end of, in the mid-2000s, the opening of 8 chapters related to the customs union and announced that no more chapters would be provisionally closed until Turkey fulfills its commitments. Apparently, Turkey is still far from meeting the conditions for membership. And one may even argue that Turkey, especially over the last decade, has broken both the spirit and the letter of the Copenhagen political criteria. Moreover, Turkey's unceasing democratic backsliding, the violations of democratic values, fundamental rights and the rule of law, the widespread corruption, along with its provocative behavior towards the 2 EU members, Greece and Cyprus, had led the European Parliament, the European Commission, and successive European councils to certain negative statements and decisions, including further cuts in EU financial support to Turkey, threats of imposing sanctions due to gas drilling operations off Cyprus, and the postponement of the modernization of the existing EU-Turkey customs union. So where we stand now, how far relations between EU and Turkey can go. I would say that provided that the current de-escalation of Turkey's behavior in the provocative behavior in the Eastern Mediterranean is sustained, and B, that Turkey engages constructively and subject to the established conditionalities set out in various EU Council conclusions in 2020 and this year. then and only then the European Union will engage with Turkey, and yet in a phased, as certain EU Council conclusions suggested, yet in a phased, proportionate, and reversible manner, so as to enhance cooperation in a number of areas of common interest, such as the modernization of the customs union between European Union and Turkey. Well, the defense agreement signed between France and Greece in late September serves not only both states' interests, but also the cause of the European Union strategic autonomy. And I'll explain. Greece has attempted for many years to turn both the European Union and NATO into what is called security providers towards the Turkish threat. And what it got was zero from NATO, and not exactly what it expected from the European Union. In other words, the institutional commitment provided by the European Union and NATO through particular articles, Article 42.7 and Article 5 of the Washington Treaty, proved empty shells. The Greek-French or the French-Greek defense accord has not only strengthened Greece's internal balancing efforts through the purchase of the particular French frigates and jet fighters, but through the inclusion of a mutual defense clause in Article 2 of the Defense Accord, Greece's external balancing is also strengthened. The accord recognizes the very real possibility that conflict between NATO member states could occur, and that attacks upon the territorial integrity of either Greece or France, but mainly Greece, from other NATO member states could not be excluded, as Article 5 of the Washington Treaty does. So this way, the mutual assistance clause, Greece believes, can not only serve as a powerful deterrent, but it could also evolve into a game changer by bringing Turkey to the diplomatic table and agree to binding international adjudication. One should also, however, be aware that according to the mutual assistance clause, for France's armed support to Greece to materialize, a military attack to the Greek territory should take place. This means that France would provide military assistance to support Greece's sovereignty, not Greece's sovereign rights, which may regard Greece's claims to continental shelf or exclusive economic zones over a non-delimited area in the Eastern Mediterranean. In any case, Greece's deterrent ability is strengthened by the Greek-French military agreement, especially towards Turkey's future attempts to create a fait accompli in the Eastern Mediterranean. Moreover, I come to your question about the European framework. The Greek-French defense accord functions as a wake-up call, I would say, for Europeans to come out of their naivety. And more importantly, it shows the way forward for the EU, or even part of the EU, through coalitions of the willing, for example, to transition into a credible security provider, as the evolving global context and circumstances demand, and to revive NATO through the strengthening of its European pole For obvious reasons, Greece supports the strengthening of the European strategic autonomy, and it strongly believes it will be the main beneficiary. It's wrong to consider NATO as brain dead, as Macron, the French president, has called it. It seems what is important for NATO is to come up with a more concrete and well-defined doctrine that would manage to sound out what are the needs of today's world, the particular security needs of today's world, broaden its agenda, and manage to work hand in hand with the European Union. That particular issue of division of labor is probably what should stand at the top of the two organizations' agenda, and defining. The thing is that there are not simply a strong disagreement within the European Union or within certain EU states. It seems that there is no, for Europeans, it is still an issue of debate. I mean, we disagree on the rationale with regard to where we should head, this way or that way. Plus, there are many other issues related to the issue of common perception of threats, which is of crucial importance for the strategic autonomy of the European Union to develop. Plus, on issues of capabilities through various means. So it's a big issue, really, and it's hard to come up with an answer, a straightforward answer. This should be the way forward. Well, particularly for Greece, taking into consideration that Greece has an economy burdened by the COVID-19, Greece is called upon to punch, I would say, above its weight by dealing effectively with Turkey's behavior, the so-called Turkish threat, as well as with a series of new security risks and challenges. So I would consider three challenges to Greece's, particular challenges to Greece's security. The first challenge Greece faces in the short run, and this is as a result of Turkey's strategy of brinkmanship in the Eastern Mediterranean, is crisis avoidance, meaning Greece must prove itself capable of preventing the high tension which Turkey is fomenting in the Eastern Mediterranean from escalating into a hot incident. Greece's second and still more crucial challenge will be advancing a coherent and holistic strategy towards Turkey, presumably with a little help from its friends, namely the European Union or certain EU states and the United States. The goal of a concerted carrot and stick strategy on the part of Greece is to deter Turkey's, on the one hand, to deter Turkey's assertiveness, while on the other hand, preserving the anticipation of mutual benefits inherent in a policy of engaging with Turkey. And to this end, and drawing on a new sense of national confidence, its geostrategic value, its renewed stance as a beacon of stability in the Eastern Mediterranean, Greece, I think, should continue to invest in anchoring Turkey to the broader European and transatlantic framework in the future. So Greece could thus be an active supporter and an agenda center of the multilateral conference in the Eastern Mediterranean, which has been proposed by the President of the European Union Council a year ago in September 2020. And this is a proposal which concerns the organization of an international conference that would involve the key parties in the Eastern Mediterranean and NATO, in order for the thorny issue of maritime boundaries in the region, but also other issues such as energy, migration, to be discussed. The proposal by the EU President includes a number of difficult issues which should have been addressed and clarified before the introduction of the conference, such as the agenda of the conference, the status of the participants, for example, the formula under which Cyprus will participate, what role the EU will undertake vis-à-vis the Turkish Cypriot community, and so on and so forth. And of course, the specification of the number of countries and external actors to join, plus some other issues. Last but not least, the third challenge, I would say, to Greece security relates to the emergence of what certain analysts call polycrisis in the region, meaning the concurrence of different security threats, risks, and challenges in Greece's immediate security environment. So with polycrisis appearing as a kind of a new norm in the Eastern Mediterranean, Greece must prepare itself to deal with Turkey's destabilizing behavior in the Eastern Mediterranean, concurrently with issues relating to the migration challenge, Islamist radicalization, international terrorism, as well as the damaging consequences of the climate change, plus many other issues.